over there?
I'm just screwing around.
I can see that. Aren't you supposed to be doing an intro?
An intro? Oh yeah, that's right. So, what I'm going to do today, and in this video, is I'm going to show you how to take something like this. This is called E-Track. We're going to bolt it to a wall, and we're going to organize some pack outs. If you haven't seen E-Track, it's this wondrous stuff that allows you to do all types of cool things. And Milwaukee, well, they went ahead and used E-Track for their new shelving system. So stay tuned, and you can get yourself a sweet little wall like this too. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick tour. This is the wall that's under question. The plywood, I didn't have enough, so I'm about to go get it. But this is what we're doing, right? So these are the pack out shelf kits, and that's Pack Out Princess. They're feeding dogs pepperoni because who doesn't love pepperoni? But most of the mess is out. But this is the stuff, and you guys, Brunt Workwear, Jacoval 10. Use that coupon code, you can get 10 bucks off. But yeah, I'm glistening. I gotta run to the store while she mans the driveway because of all the expensive stuff sitting outside. We've got some E-Track there. I will show you more of that once I get the wall up. But I got 4 of the kits, which are 2 shelves each. So that's 8. And then I have 3 more individual shelves. So I have 11 shelves. Here's what they look like. This is before the rail is installed, the metal. Okay, and then this is a standard E-Track setup. Goes in there. There's a screw that goes in the side. So you use these. The way they work is you push this, you slide this up in the E-Track, and then once you get it in, you slide it back down, you let go, and it's engaged. And then these are used to tighten them down so that there's no rattle to this. Obviously, if you guys have a van, you don't want rattle to this. I don't want rattle to it either. But mine's gonna be on this wall. I'm gonna go ahead and pop it out like that. All right, so what I've got is, I've got 8 feet that I'm designating. I'm gonna do 2 4-foot sheets of plywood that I'm gonna attach to the studs, and then I'm gonna attach my E-Track to the plywood. I wanna not crush this when I put it up, the drywall that is. Plus it looks like it's double layers, as you can see there. I am going to leave it screwed so that if I ever need to pull it down to get to this box, I'm not covering the box, I should say that. What I'm going to do, and actually I could trough it, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to cover the box, I'm not going to cover that outlet. Obviously I have to uncover that outlet some, you can see this lovely setup. But basically I'm going to come to about here, and that's going to be all plywood and E-Track. And then this is going to get eventually painted. I'm going to actually keep it because it's solid. But I am going to use a combination of battery racks like that, some of the stealth mount holders, and basically underside and here will be all battery holders and tool holders. So everything's where I need it when I come right out the door. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and leave that shelf. Eventually I want to build a bigger shop onto this property, but we've got 2 sheets of ply, cars moved, all the crap moved out of the garage, and somehow all that's got to go back in there. So I need to get back to work. Yep, there she is, just being herself. But so yeah, I am going to get back to work. Oh, you guys might have seen in the live what's in here. I'll show you that in this video too towards the end. Any of you that were on the live video that sort of led up to this, thanks for participating. Some of these cool laser levels, rangefinder, stuff like that. That's what this stuff's out for. I should have showed you this right here, but this is a setup, right? This is what it looks like before this has been tightened down. Okay, that hasn't been attached to there yet. So this is basically E-Track, right? And then the rail. And then you, like I said, you tighten those down so that there's no rattle to this. But as you can see, those engage into there, and that's why Milwaukee gives you screws so that you can go into there. So that's that. Let's go ahead and get the plywood on the wall. But yeah, there's those 3 other kits, and there's some of that E-Track that we're gonna go ahead and install. So I'm gonna stop talking, and I'm gonna get laying out where my 4-foot mark is so that I can go ahead and cut out for that first panel. So I actually skipped right over this, but there's that 3D printed tripod holder for the Milwaukee light, as you can see. Right? It can be bright, it's light, but this is where the meat and potatoes are, is because I've got the light out here. I need to work. I am throwing the laser level up where I want 4 foot from that top lip, and it's on a tripod I'm already using. I actually have some revisions I'm going to make to this where I'm going to make it quicker to remove. Right now you have to take these suckers out. So I want to change that. But I mean, this version works as it is. I actually changed the tolerances in the production version of this hole, but it really does clamp on it really well. In fact, right now I have it in sort of this pinch mode, which is essentially, it just uses the weight of the tripod to wedge itself in there. And you can see I don't even have those tight, and that thing hasn't moved. And if you grab this and go like that, it can turn, but it doesn't slide down. So what's really nice is I can just grab this, find my lines, turn it to where I need it, and then I can use Milwaukee's little micro adjust on the bottom if I want. But as you can see, just nudge it over, get it where I want, and now I can transfer those measurements onto the sheet. I'm gonna go ahead and bump them to the ceiling, but make sure they're plumb. And yeah, so I gotta get those measurements put onto this sheet of plywood and get it installed. So there is less plywood out there because I got it on the wall. Let me turn off this fan. But I've had this fan on all day. Not bad. All right, let's take a look. It's on the wall. Okay. I know that might seem boring, but that took some time. You know, nobody wants to hit wires. So let's turn around and take a look at a couple things. All right, so I say so a lot, I know. Laser level, I got where the majority of the weight is going to be bearing every 12 inches, some screws put in there. Looks like I missed 1 or 2. We'll get it taken care of. I'm gonna actually paint this black because it's gonna have red in front of it, so why not? But I want to line all these up and figure out where I'm gonna put them, and I wanna show you these and how they work. So that is vertical E-Track. Here is what comes in the Milwaukee kits. So this is a standard kit, which comes with 2 of these shelves, 2 of these rails. That's how you install it and release it. That's how you tighten it. I ordered a couple different setups as well. So this is horizontal. So I can adjust the placement of this shelf horizontally. And then like over there, there's the other part of it, which is vertical. So I'm gonna have a section that is going to be vertical adjusting. I'm gonna have a bunch of sections of these where I'll just stack them one on top of each other, which is why I used the plywood. Ultimately, it'd probably be stronger if you just used full setups, but Milwaukee includes a bunch. And since I have 3 extra shelves, I wanted to be able to, you know, have that adjustment. I pulled my pack out over, and I made a minimum, if I put one on it, and a handle, and I pretty much want to use that to gauge where I'm going to put this. It's going to be stupid to put a shelf all the way touching the ceiling. So I'm gonna bring it down here at its minimum level on this 5-foot piece and put that there. And it's gonna go all the way in the corner. Again, why I use plywood. And then I will then space the rest out. So what I'm gonna do next, should have the time lapse going if it doesn't overheat again. I'm gonna go ahead and lay a bunch of these out, put screws in, and then I will take it back off and paint the wall, and we'll be back. Good morning. So day 2 on the project, but for you, it's just like a few minutes later. Hopefully you guys were on the live and saw me with all the shenanigans. You guys would have seen this in the time lapse, and it's going again. So everything had to get moved in because I'm not leaving all that stuff sit out at night. The wall is dry. It's time to put up the E-track. Make sure it's level for the last time. Set up shelves, and let's pack this wall out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that on some time lapse, and then we'll be back. We'll talk about it. All right, let's turn this loud thing off. Gotta love that. All right, so there it is. You'll see in the time lapse that because these brackets are obviously one piece, it's easy to put it on. These ones, since there's 1, 2, 3 pieces on each side, 6 pieces, I flipped this one 3 times wrong. And I get this thing up and I'm like, okay, this one's level, but I have the next one. So this one was off 1 screw pattern, flipped, and the bottom was higher on this side than that side. And I looked across and I was like, my OCD didn't work on the top either. What the heck's wrong with me? So I made it so that the bottom row, if I wanted to, and that top row there of this side would line up with this E-track if I wanted to set all the way across. Now, I'm gonna have to, I don't know, I might cut one of these down just to make a half, or add some E-track that way. But right now, I can only get 2 on this track, which is fine. I could have spaced it right to where that would line up with this, but I'll never do that because then this one wouldn't have it on it. So what I did, you guys, if you understand physics, these tracks are gonna want to pull this way, right? So the top screws matter. That's why it's doubled up. Did one in the center, because obviously if you put something here, this center could bow out. So for symmetrical reasons, I just repeated it, right? Double at the top, double at the bottom. Now on these are worse because it doesn't have a larger distance on this bottom where this fulcrum is, right? So it's being able to put all that torque, right? Which is, there's the moment of inertia. There's where it's going to pivot on. It's much narrower. If it's longer, right, it is stronger. It actually is better on it. But in here, so what I did is wherever I put this, I'm going to put a screw in. And then if you look here, a difference. These are, what are they? 3-inch, 1/8 U2 fasteners. And these are through the plywood into the studs. So wherever I could hit a stud, I did that, which makes it stronger already for this horizontal E-track. And then wherever the shelves are gonna be these. Now, if they're gonna be super adjustable, I might just, but I ran out of screws. So wherever I spanned plywood, I doubled it up on each side so the plywood would sit flat. Okay, so I will come back and add more screws into this. I need to run to the store and buy some more. So now I'm going to time lapse me bringing in the rolling pack outs. I have a couple pack outs that I like to roll, that I roll in the house and back out, that have drawers, because I have drawers set up for mobile, and those won't ever get restocked on the shelves. And then I have my then I have my pack outs that have drawers that I want out here, and the drawers won't leave. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those out here, get my rollers down on the bottom and mess with this. I have 3 more shelves. So I will probably put another here, and here, there, and then something up there. I want a tall place here for a tall roller. So maybe this one just won't exist. I'm not exactly sure. So you'll see that on the time lapse, and then I'll come back and show you how it looks. Here we are. The pack out wall. 2 days, plan for 4. It's not all the pack outs. Unfortunately, there is at least 1 more stack this tall, a few more crates. This is it. Hey, I even got part of the sticker wall out. I did some battery organization. It's temporary, but it'll cover me. I got a place for the pack out cart. What I ended up doing, you guys didn't pay attention to this lengthy process, is the wall is skinned in 1/2-inch AC sanded plywood. These parts, this side, is using the track that I got off on Amazon, and I will post a link for it. But it's this DC cargo mall. I like that. It's a lot easier. This left side here is 6 individual pieces of the Milwaukee track. It took a lot more time to line that up than it did to do this one. So if I did it again, every single joint in the Milwaukee part has 2 screws on the top and 2 screws on the bottom. Sorry, 4 screws, top, bottom, and then center. On this one, I lined up the screws to be the same with it. The horizontal, right, so that's the vertical. The horizontal, which is not able to hold as much. I mean, I guess you could say you could, but you're definitely gonna put some stress on the screws. Wherever my studs are, if my screws didn't line up, I drilled and attached it into the studs. And then wherever a bracket is, I made sure that there's screws there so that I don't get any twisting. You can see I lined up my horizontal with my vertical for OCD purposes so that this could go straight across. I made it to where a standard 3-pack stack plus a little bit more can fit underneath. I could have ran my rails a little bit more, but when you see here, if I go to this height, I can get a small toolbox and the standard profile organizer, and I'm out of room. If I go up 1 more, I can only get a standard profile. I can't get one of these. So that's about the height that I would want to go. And of course, if I go any lower, then you hit those. So the 5-foot sections were perfect. You can see here I'm using my Joey to hang my crate jig. Obviously I need more joeys. My fuse panel is exposed. I'm gonna paint that, but I need to actually drill in, go back up and drop down for this table saw. I tested something out over here. I like it, but I don't think I'm gonna do, if I do more, I'm only gonna do one more above. I really wish there was a better way to hang these, and I'm probably gonna try some of the unbeaten path brackets, since I load my crates up a lot. If you were using your crates for PVC fittings, you probably could get away with the 3D printed ones. There'd be no problem. But I want to put so many in there that I would like it to be more crates with just a teeny space to where I can pull a crate on and off. Yeah, and then I've got rollers, right? So this can roll, the light, the cart fits. Show you a little something that I've been doing. So when I was working on my battery wall, right, so I pulled my drawer out. This is where I put my main hardware that I use a lot, and this is like the #1 bin that I use. So that's why there's only 2 here. I probably could stack it here, but this is also my normal drill set. But one thing that's really nice about having the drawers here is I just do this, and it can sit open and it doesn't fall. I could have another drawer and put another one there, and I could have my hardware while I'm working. And I just rest it on the drawer, and it worked out pretty well. I liked it, so I think I'm going to keep using it that way. Well, of course, when I'm not using screws, I can just, close it, put it back. The non-Milwaukee option, right? So you lose this much space for every one of these puts. So you definitely don't want one per pack out, because with the hardware that they use to lock these down and all that, you really can't put something underneath it. I have a couple ideas, but I would like a half one of these, I'll tell you that, because I do want to put something there. So I might get some of the brackets and make one. What else? So yeah, like I said, all my rollers. I still have another plate. Like I said, I might put it above that crate, but I want to find a different way. I think this wall here, this is the last bit of drywall. So that wall, I think, because you need about 4 feet for 2 of these by each other. And I don't want to have it right here on the door, so I probably from this switch to there will be pack outs, and from here will be quick access stuff. I went ahead and used a bracket, the one that says Jacoball, to hold my stealth mount. So it's my stealth mount M18 stealth mount, 12 volts. You can see here, batteries, lock it in, and then that can attach to a pack out. This pack out is my common everyday. This is the one I use in and out of the house, but mainly in the house. But I'm trying to get as many pack outs out of the house for the LAF, wife acceptance factor, if you guys don't know that. So here, let me bring you over and I'll show you a little closer. So I was talking about this in the live video, but these brackets with the hooks, they work out pretty well. This one's steel, so my magnetic level, tape measure, drills. I've got the locking stealth mount for the M12s. I do like to keep a battery in them, so I am going to do some additional. I've got to get some spacers, some washers, so that this doesn't do what that did. That's my switch right now, so super safe. Gotta love how you can use a wire nut as a switch. This is the stuff that I use the most. Install driver, batteries, my supercharger, 12 volt setup there, batteries, 12 volt drills that aren't the installation driver, 18 drill, 18 impact, a tape measure, right? And then I've got my sequential charger, and then the inside outside pack out drawers. So I've got low voltage in there, the Dennis Smallbone stacker for that. I've been doing a lot of stuff around the house that needed anchors. A little chuck setup for the drill, so when I take that, I can just drop it in there. Went ahead and threw a bracket on here for the vacuum. This is like everyone's favorite vacuum. At least in my family, we all love that, so I went ahead and mounted that there. I then played around with some of these Room Industries brackets. I had that on the drywall and it was just coming loose, but you can see here it sort of works for the Bosch 12 volts as well because they're a similar design. And then it definitely works for the Milwaukee skateboard chuck. So I'm going to outfit this a little differently. This is sort of short term. I want to run some power to it, and then I want to put the chargers on the back of it and then stack batteries in front. Yeah, I know. A couple people said, oh, don't put your chemicals with your batteries. Well, this is what I have. So I will probably get a metal cabinet and move those. Pack outs, you can see the brackets. Wherever I span plywood, I put screws on each side. And so right now, stuff is sort of where I guessed it should be. I've got more pack outs in the house, like I said, so I need another wall there. But what I'm going to basically separate it by is stuff like screws, hardware, washers, springs, things like that. Right now, I've got some of the electrical stuff all together. And then up top, those are really big washers, so it really should say big washers. So this is stuff that I don't use a ton, and that's what the top's going to be. Obviously, I have a pack out cooler issue. I don't use nail guns, they're air. I don't use them a ton. I'm going to be getting battery, but they were good nail guns. I'm not getting rid of it. The pack out light, pack out vac, the track saw, I do use a lot. The fan with something next to it like that, that's that tall, it doesn't seem to fit great, but it is sitting there. Then I've got more wire stuff, spools, more spools. I really want those to be separate. I want to be able to pull those out, like I was saying. And then a little less used stuff that was heavier that I didn't want all the way up top. And then another mobile pack out. So this, in theory, once these are off of it, we'll be able to roll around to where I need to. This is my router pack out. So typically what I would do is take something like this and put this on that height. You could put it on a little higher so I could roll one of these stacks out into the middle and route. I eventually will have a router in this surface. But I had a big barn at the last place and it was a lot easier. So this thing needs to go ahead and get the wheels installed. Or maybe I won't install them and maybe I'll just install the wheels on something like that. I don't know. But that needs to get dropped down and reset up. That is temporary until I can organize all those. I really want to go through them and get rid of anything I don't need to. So you guys know I had the 35 by 40, so it was like 1,300 square foot. And then I had like a 20 by 20 loft in it. So I had a lot of stuff in the last place and I had to try to get whatever I could here. So this thing had most of my mechanic stuff and I plan on keeping it that way, except for Milwaukee. Battery operated things will not exist in there. They'll all stay over here. So I'll probably set up some drawers. So as I live with this and move it around, it'll get adjusted. But I basically need to organize that now, permanently mechanic stuff. And then impacts that are mechanic related, I'll have a drawer sort of set aside for them just because red will go with red. Do a couple more wall brackets for stuff like the Craig jig so they can go up there just out of the way. This was a lot of fun. I've got some tool organization now. I got to go through and get rid of some stuff. I just don't have the room. I have like 15,000 plumb bobs and like 10,000 staple guns. So, and then it looks like I have 3 different backpack sprayers. So I got to get some brackets up, get stuff like that on the wall. Because if you use all your horizontal space, you get more room. So that's what I plan on doing, is I'm going to go horizontal and I'm going to get stuff off the floor. I can walk around out here now. I have a few bins on the front porch, some jack stands. I'm going to use some of this stuff and build a couple jack stand racks and things like that. I'm going to just mount the E-track right to the concrete block. And there you go. Why not? It's not going to go anywhere. It's starting to cool down a little in Florida, so I probably won't hook up the AC. But once I go through all the bins, I'm hoping to have even more floor space. I figured a way that I can get into that panel, so now I can get power to the table saw. So I'll get that back up and working because the table saw is 240. Everything else is 110, and I've been able to make do. So yeah, this project I would say is a super success. I mean, what else could I ask for, right? The pack outs are organized. I can get to them now, and I don't have to completely take 15 of them out to get to the bottom one. So once I get some more money, I'm gonna do the other wall. Get the pack outs out of the house and have Pack Out Princess happy. I appreciate you guys all watching. I was gonna announce the business card winner, but this video is long enough. And so you just have to enjoy it for what it was, which was getting it organized and taking some of my own medicine and organizing my own stuff. I hope you guys stuck through this whole video. I'm gonna try to post links to more stuff. There's a new guy doing these. I'll post a link for that. Yeah, I'm gonna post lots of links. And if you guys need me, comment below. If you have any suggestions, comment below. If there's anything you think I should do different, comment below. Or if you just wanna poop the algorithm, comment below. Subscribe. I appreciate you all watching, and it's time for me to go. Well, I'm done packing out for the day, so have a good one. See ya. Oh yeah, and watch this, subscribe. Watch that, subscribe. They're here, 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 there, and there. Do what Abe says and click these things. Because one of these things is awesome. So, I gotta go. See y'all. I wanted to add something. You guys can imagine that this doesn't get done sitting. Which means I was on my feet for 2 days straight. And while I was on my feet, they were on a cloud of unicorn farts and just glitter in my Brunt workwears. Jake of All 10 will save you $10 on your first order. That's right, this is an infomercial. So make sure you check it out. I'm gonna put a link in the video too. And now do all that jazzy stuff and click these links and all that fun stuff. Jake of All 10, $10 off Brunt workwear. You guys have a good one.